Hello friends, welcome back to another video. My name is Yeagerists, and tomorrow is going to be a very big day because one of the, I guess, pinnacles of anime, Attack on Titan, is finally concluding after, what is it? Final
It's been 10
season,
years.
part 4.
Yeah, it's the final season. No, it's the final season, part 3, part 2.
Part 3, part 2, yes.
Yeah.
That's probably the funniest meme to come out of the whole anime production. It's just how they just didn't want to end it.
The parts. It's the final season, but part 1, and then there was a part 2. It's like, nope, still not done.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Attack on Titan, the final season, part 78B, second half.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny too because my friend, I'm actually joined by Indomitable. That's the voice you're hearing. A regular on our channel, of course. It's funny because you've been waiting since how long? Like you watched Attack on Titan when it was coming out, like for the first time.
I have been watching this show. This is one of like my first ever I actually knew it was animes. Actually, I think it is the first.
Mm-hmm.
And I've since middle school, 2013, so like a decade ago when it first started coming out. Like I've been watching since the beginning. I was there for that original 4-year wait for season 2. God damn, I deserve the veterans discount or the senior citizens discount.
The veterans discount.
Both, because my God, if you were there for that original wait, you know
how long it is. And you know what Mappa decided to do? They're like, you can wait even longer.
Yeah. Yeah, making it more annoying by having it be like during like a singular season rather than just like the main story of season 1 is over. Now wait for like 4 years on a cliffhanger to see how the story continues.
Yes. And
I'm just gonna say that that time gap was so long. I had the the Armored Titan and the Colossal Titan identity spoiled for me, but then I forgot. So that's how long that original gap was. If you got, if there are some people watching here that were not around for the original season 1 to 2 gap.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, that, I don't know. For me, Attack on Titan's one of those shows. It wasn't my first. My first is My Hero Academia, unfortunately.
Damn, lame as fuck.
But Attack on Titan was one of my earliest. I did know about it. Actually, you know what's funny? I actually first learned about it through Adult Swim because of Toonami. Because as I stayed up to watch Samurai Jack, Teen Titans. And one of the cool things is Toonami would sometimes play commercials like immediately after talking about Attack on Titan. And so I was familiar with Attack on Titan, but I didn't know what anime was. So I'm like, I don't want to watch it. It looks too scary for me. Because mind you, I was a kid at this time. I didn't know what I was like. I know what anime was. I'm like, it's a cartoon, but it looks violent or scary because of the Titans. Which, I mean, it is. I mean, Attack on Titan is horrifying. I mean, people get dismembered all the time. Some of the deaths are really brutal. Even now, I look back at some of the deaths and I'm just like, whoa,
Right. No, I remember it was like all my friends were like that I hung out with in middle school. None of them watched anime. None of them ever talked about anime. That never came up in conversations, except for this one, Attack on Titan. For some reason, Attack on Titan came up, and I decided, I'm gonna go. I got to be part of these conversations. I got to watch Attack on Titan. I don't think the dub was out yet when I started watching. Again, showing how long I have been watching this show. It might have just started. I didn't know about it yet, but I watched it in the sub originally. I think I watched the whole show, and then one day, because I would watch Adult Swim all the time, I see this ad on Toonami for Attack on Titan. It's like, so you're telling me I can watch this show that I already just watched that I love and is amazing again, but in because I think Attack on Titan was, like I said, it was definitely, without question, the first subbed anime I think I ever watched. So it's like, I was, at that point, I was not used to like the watching and the reading. like I am now. But back then, first ever time doing it, I definitely missed some stuff. Like, so now I can like listen in English and watch, all the action stuff happen. This is gonna be great. And I heard the voices, and oh my fucking god, I hate the sub voices.
Yeah.
Or not the dub voices for Attack on Titan. I think that dub was so bad, or I just didn't like it so much. This was my first ever experience with the sub versus dub thing, that I just like developed just like a hatred for dubs because of just Attack on Titan. Like, since then I have like calmed down on dubs a little bit, but like it was definitely like me just the jarring immediate like, wow, these voices suck.
Well, I mean, for me at least, when I started watching anime, I would watch. See, My Hero Academia, I watched it in. It's funny. My gateway was actually the high school anime club. That like a guy I knew. I'm actually still on good terms with him. He started it. He was like the president of the club, and it was basically just us watching My Hero Academia. But he was a sub purist. So we watched it subbed, and then I got so invested in My Hero Academia because we finished season 1 that I wanted to jump to season 2, but since it was like a weekly club, I didn't want to wait. So one of the YouTubers I was watching actually advertised as a partnership Verve, which rest in peace Verve. It was a streaming service that got integrated into Crunchyroll, but the OGs know Verve. So I got his free trial for like 3 months, and I got an account, and I watched all of My Hero up until like halfway, because I think season 2 was still airing, which is really funny. Now, up until that point, I realized that there was an option for dub, and so I started watching the dub, and actually got more addicted to the dub than the sub. But then now I look back, and to me, My Hero Academia is one of the rare exceptions where it's like the dubbed and subbed are like interchangeable for me.
Yeah, like My Hero actually doesn't have a bad dub. I think there are times where I have said I do think the dub does sound better than the original, the sub. Dragon Ball has always been my big one on that, because like Goku's Japanese voice is like, it's an old woman, and that works fine when Goku is a kid. I don't think it works fine when Goku is an adult.
Yeah.
But
no, but like for me at least, like I mean Dragon Ball is the big one. I haven't watched like I've only seen one episode of Dragon Ball, and it was like one of the one-off episodes, so I can't comment on that. But another big one for me is actually Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Love the show to death. Their sub is awful. Like, I think the dub for Full Metal Alchemist, same thing. It's amazing because the characters, like Edward Elric in the sub, I think, just comes across as really grating and annoying, compared to like the dub.
Right.
So I don't know. It's weird for me because it's like I am 100% for the sub. Whenever the sub is good, watch it. But then there's lots of instances where the sub is so atrocious, and it's funny. Usually when it's like atrociously bad, the dub is like infinitely better. Like it has no reason to be the dub just needs to be passable, right? Right. But whenever the subs are garbage, the dub is always like excellent, and I feel like that's the case for like Full Metal, Dragon Ball, right?
Yeah.
And Attack on Titan, I have seen clips in dubbed. I just can't. I don't know. It was during the time where I was just getting more into anime, and a lot of them didn't have dubs, so I was just watching the subs. Attack on Titan was one of the shows where I'm like, I have to watch a sub. I can't watch the dub, or else it looks weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it was Armin's voice specifically that just for some reason, like, really grated on me.
So you don't mind Pappenbrook for Aaron?
Listen, I know Ted goes off on Pappenbrook all the time, but like I'm so indifferent to Pappenbrook. Like, I'll be honest, I don't really remember what his Aaron sounds like because it has been about a decade since I've watched the dub. But Armin's voice stuck with me for some reason.
as like
and how
just
awful
not
it was.
right.
Just not right, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm talking about like how that one instance back in like my middle school years made me really hate dub versus sub, which is like the ultimate weeb debate. But it's kind of funny because, after that, I did not get into like anime until about loosely my senior year of high school. So
Yeah.
because Attack on Titan, I say is my gateway, but like, I watched that. I think I tried to watch a couple other shows that I couldn't get into at the time. And then there were a bunch of weird kids at my school who watched anime who talked about Hentalia all the time, and I did not want to be associated with them. So
Oh no, not Hetalia.
I've never seen it, but I know the legends.
To me, it's weird. Like for me, because growing up, I was exposed to anime actually through, I think, my very, very first one. I don't consider it my gateway because I didn't lead to anything, but it was of course the Miyazaki film Castle in the Sky, which is one of my all-time favorite films.
I was not expecting a Ghibli film.
Yeah, it's a Ghibli film. So
I thought you were gonna say like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon.
Well, here's the funny thing. I was actually more into Pokemon, not through the anime. I mean, I knew about the anime. I watched a couple episodes when it was on the Cartoon Network, but it never clicked for me that it was anime. And the second thing is, I was more into the card game. Funny enough.
You played the card game?
Yeah, I was into. I have the card. I have over 300. Dude, I'm obsessed with Pokemon.
I thought you were gonna say
I have over 300 cards.
Game.
It was the talk of the town in my elementary school. I organized it from types alphabetically. I was insane, dude. I got like 2 Emboar cards that was insane at the time. It got 150 damage each. It was cool. Yeah, Pokemon was cool. That was my thing. Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh was like the one I was more into. Like, again, as a kid, I didn't know it was anime, so it was just another cartoon. The card game was like fairly popular for a while. Then it became like Blade Bait and Bakugan. Dragon Ball Z was like another big one that I didn't know was anime till like I got a little older, because they aired Z-Kai on Nicktoons. But no, Attack on Titan is the one I will always consider like my first anime. My intro one, and I think it was a really strong and high entry point, I must say.
Well, because like as much as I mean, we're gonna get into. We're 30 minutes in. We're finally getting into the anime, but
we're finally getting.
Yeah. But like the thing is, for me at least, when I look at Attack on Titan, it's one of the shows that really, I don't know. It's one of those shows that like. Although I have a lot of problems with it, which we'll get into as we talk about the seasons, and we're only going to go up till the final episode that comes out tomorrow. We're not going to be talking about that at all because Indomitable here hasn't even finished the manga. He's waiting for the anime.
I have gone. Yep. What year did the manga end? I think it ended about like 3-4 years ago now.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, I have somehow managed to avoid the ending for all this time, despite being heavily like into like the community at the time the manga was ending. Yeah. I don't know how I've done it, but I am a day away from finally getting my fucking answers.
Yep.
I'm so close. I can see the finish line.
Yes.
I've waited so long for this.
Yeah, so like I don't know. And like for me at least, when I talk about Attack on Titan, but when people ask what is your all-time favorite anime? It's Attack on Titan's far from it. I actually am going to be so I feel like there's 2 camps when it comes to popular anime, right? It's like you either love it to death and you will defend it, you're like a diehard fan, or you're like absolutely despise it, right? Because that's the anime community. You have to either love it or hate it, and then if you're in between, you get ostracized. But for me, I'm actually going to be more on the negative side of the camp for Attack on Titan, if I'm going to be completely honest, because I have a lot of problems with it, specifically with what actually happens later on in the story. I'm not really that big of a fan of. But
you'll never guess what side I'm on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this show is a masterpiece. I've heard all the people's problems with it, and I think they're stupid and wrong.
We're gonna have a fun conversation then today.
This show is a masterpiece. Like, the story in just every regard. Like, my God, the man was cooking like a full 5-star like gourmet meal is what this man was cooking.
Okay, but at least I think you can agree to this though. Despite my complaints, the one thing I can never take away from Attack on Titan, well, there's actually two things. One, you cannot tell me that the first Attack on Titan opening is not one of the most iconic anime openings of all time.
Oh, no question about it.
Like, no question.
That is,
you play that
is cemented
instantly,
its place
everyone's
in
like
history.
Attack on Titan. There's no way. It's like notorious.
Yeah. Hot take, I think the second intro was better.
See, hot take, Red Swan's the best opening.
Okay, that's just fucking wrong in every way. That's the worst opening.
You thought that was a hot take? No, I love Red Swan.
You have no taste, sir.
I have so much taste. I have so much taste
don't.
that everyone else is repulsed that, I have such a specific taste for what I like.
Yeah, you have such great taste in shit. Like,
wow. What a way to put it. But anyways, so like we're getting off track. We have to get back on track. So for me, when it comes to Attack on Titan, there's two things. One, I mentioned it was the opening that I can't take away. That's one of the best things to happen to anime and just, I guess, everything at large. It's iconic. And the second thing is Attack on Titan is one of the very few anime that has, and this goes for amazing shows that I absolutely love to death, even more so than Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan has one of, if not the best, first episode to an anime. Its hook
absolutely
is so good. You can't take that away. Everyone knows it. The reason why it's so popular is because of that hook alone, right?
Yeah. That hook and that intro are both I think would help it like become so iconic and so talked about, not just like in the anime community, but just like pop culture community in general.
Yes. And I mean, you've seen like so many different variations of it. Like other anime parody the Colossal Titan with its hand. You see someone made a SpongeBob Attack on Titan, which is really funny. I think there's also like a Shrek version that someone redid.
There's like in every kind of version for Attack on Titan.
Yeah, it's just you can't beat just the iconic, and also like just screaming like how to invest yourself into the world. And I think one of the things too, like let's actually start getting into season 1, okay? yeah, we're finally getting there. But
yeah.
Attack on Titan has an amazing world. It has a fantastic world. And so to not only set up the 3 different walls, Wall Maria, Wall Rose, and then what's the other one?
I think. It's Maria, Rose, and fuck. Yeah, well, fuck. Let's go with that. I think it starts with an S. I could 100% be wrong about that.
Hold on, I'm pulling it up. Okay. The walls. Wow, we're already an embarrassment. Oh, sorry. Sheena, Rose, and
the
Ray.
magical power. See, I knew it started with an S.
Sheena. What the hell is Sheena? That's
Well,
like the most random name. Yeah, Rose. It's the 3 walls: Sheena, Rose, and Maria. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
like you get the walls. You can tell that this world is amazing from its just the architecture, from the way the city's built.
How
it's
the
very
soldiers fight the Titans.
It is steampunk inspired. I won't say it's
a
fully
steampunk Germany. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's steampunk inspired Germany.
Yeah, like
I
it's
don't know.
not evolved enough where they have blimps. At least at this point in the story, you don't know that they're gonna make blimps later on, but
we'll get to that later.
At this point in the story, they don't have blimps, so there's like a limit to their technology. But they do have a really
they
cool
still use
gadgets.
horses and carriages and like all that stuff.
They have a ferry that works.
Yeah.
You have also like there's a government going on. There's 3 different branches, so there seems to be some sort of organizational factor going into this world.
I think my favorite piece of the world building that's just so arbitrary and random is that there's an underground city at the at the Capitol.
And
And,
okay, that's where we're
capital's
gonna
supposed
get
to be,
into my
like,
rant, but I want to talk about that.
the
I want to go into
richest
that more in
area?
when we talk about it in
Okay, we'll
season
get to the
3.
underground city. Okay.
That's where my problems
I
actually
lo-
start.
I just love that. I don't know. I find it interesting that like there's this really like poor and like desolate underground city right underneath the richest part.
Yeah.
This says a lot about our society.
Yep. Well, I also
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, what I think was the most interesting though is like one, you had like the different walls and they separated class, which is what you pointed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But-
Yeah, it's all class separation.
Yeah. But like for some reason, it almost like people didn't seem to have like an issue. Like too much with it at this point in the story, because as far as
Except for the
you like were
underground
aware, it's just like, oh, they're just worried about the Titans, right? Outside the walls, because everyone
well,
knows about the Titans, but they thought that they were protected inside, right? Like the illusion of safety.
No, it's like the illusion of safety is like the Titans are out there. We have nothing to worry about. We're safe inside the walls as long as you don't leave.
Yeah.
That was Aaron's whole thing. Is like, but why do we have to stay within the walls? There must be, more beyond. Feeling like a caged bird.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, he got
That's
his wish.
The whole wings of freedom idea.
He got his wish for sure. Just
Yes.
not in the way he was expecting. But yeah, no, it's but like to me, I think the biggest selling point for Attack on the Titan, and I think why a lot of people have fallen in love with the story, at least for season 1, is the world and the mystery. Because I think what creates such, and to me, there's another anime that does it, even though it's also bad in my opinion, which is Promise Neverland, is when you introduce such an interesting world, but you don't give us all the information. It's like, oh, there's like some things that you don't know about, but it could be explored later on, and the story does do that, right?
Yeah.
With like the basement, right?
Attack on
Who is
Titan
Aaron's
definitely
father,
does that.
right?
There were so many. Yeah, no, there were a lot of mysteries. Like, what happened to Aaron's dad? What are these weird flashbacks of his dad with the needle? What's in the basement? The basement was the biggest mystery for so long. Where did the Titans come from? What's out there? What's outside the wall? All those big mysteries. I don't like to rewatch shows. Attack on Titan is one of the only shows I've rewatched going back with like prior knowledge, and like there's like so much more that you like didn't realize when you first watch it that just like clicks in place. I think Attack on Titan is like one of the few shows I ever will like rewatch. I think it's amazing on rewatches because you can like see how they set up the mysteries, like, and just like how well they were like executed later on. Like I don't know if I explained that well, but like there's so much information that you don't know at the start, and it like sets it up cleverly, and when you go back and rewatch it, you realize they were essentially like shoving it in your face the whole time without knowing it.
Yeah. And
I think that's an excellent way to do a mystery.
Yeah, and I don't know, for me, what I think is really well done with Attack on Titan is that they will answer the questions, but they don't do it all at once. They like give you little bits and
Like
pieces
parts,
to sort of form
snippets.
what you think is going on before then dropping you at the end of season 3 of this is everything. Like, we're gonna explain everything, right?
Yeah.
I think or maybe even into season 4. Yeah.
I think like the best example of what you just mentioned was in season 2, there's like this one part where like some of our main characters, they're like trapped in a castle with a bunch of Titans outside, and they find like a supply box that was most likely left there by Zeke with writing from Eldia. Was it Eldia? The mainland, where Reiner and Berthold and Zeke and Ymir come from. And, it's written in that language, a language that people from that, from Paradise shouldn't know. But, like, both Ymir and Reiner were able to read it, and they both caught each other in that moment. So it creates this mystery. Why do both of these people know, like, the mysterious language on the can? How have they both caught each other? And like a couple episodes later, that same episode, you get at least one, you get an answer, but also another mystery with Ymir transforming into a Titan like Eren. And then another episode later, you get the fucking reveal all at once of the Colossal and the Armored Titan.
Yes. And yeah, and you know what's so strange too? It was almost like a plot hole for me because when you're first introduced to Reiner and Bernholt, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um, when they were like, if you remember, it's very early on in season 1. It's when they all start enlisting in the Survey Corps, right?
They talk about their homes.
Well, they
yeah.
talk about where they were when the walls went down. Like it almost like it was like an attack, right?
Yeah. Well, it was an attack. They
Well, no, that's what I mean though. Like it's like in a real life.
That's basically their equivalent to
traumatic-
9/11. Like, everybody remembers where they were that day.
Well, it's like a disastrous event in real life. So like it's really cool because it's like it makes the world feel like so lively because it's like where were you when this big event happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, at least for me when I was watching, I always thought it was a plot hole where it's like all these people literally are like standing in the homes or like the walls, and then the Titans are just grabbing them and ripping them out, right? And so when you get to Reinhardt and Bernholt, when they're recounting like where they were like looking into the eye of a Titan, right? I'm like, how did they not get eaten, right? Yeah. Well, the truth is that they were lying about where they were, right?
They were lying the whole fucking time. And again, there was like an earlier moment to help with that. In season 1, with Annie grabbed, she was just the female Titan. You didn't know it was Annie yet, but I mean, it was really obvious it was Annie because she's like the only other female character we know at this point, and looks like the female Titan. She grabbed Reiner, and then Reiner, just seemed to get out of that no problem. At the time you're like, oh, what a badass moment, but when the reveal happens, you're like, oh, it was just some sort of some major plan. He was telling her where Eren was.
Okay, you want to know something funny?
What?
So I actually didn't think it was Annie.
Really?
For the female Titan.
Really? What did you think?
I thought it was the other girl. What's her name? Historia.
Casa? Oh, Historia.
Or what was her name before Historia?
I think it was Krista.
Oh, Krista, yeah. I thought it was Krista. Because she was the other blonde girl. So while everyone is thinking correctly, I was just like, no, it's Krista.
You have to go against the crowd at every moment, don't you?
I do. Well, here's the thing, and I think this was actually a fun time for me when I was watching anime, because I didn't know about these anime communities because it was still very niche at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So when people were talking about, oh yeah, I had all these theories and stuff, I'm like, I didn't pick up on any of this because I was in the dark. I was just watching this for myself,
Yeah.
But
no, I love communities with theories and shit, even if they're completely wrong or not. It's fun. I think it adds to the experience.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan did that a lot.
Does.
Oh my god, I do remember a lot of early fan theories. There was this one early fan theory that almost got it correct with the origin of the Titans, and that they come from an outside kingdom, and it is related to genetics, and it's kind of a disease that you could work on and make in a lab, with the serum and stuff like that, and the military was definitely doing that. But he got it wrong in that it wasn't an entire opposite government. It was just an individual person who was mad at a specific king, blaming him for the death of his wife.
So, he was almost there though.
He was he was actually pretty close on season 1 information. Also, I swear there's some Mandela effect that happened because Levi's reveal last name being Ackerman, when they got to it in season 3, they revealed it as some big plot twist, some information that wasn't supposed to be known, but I swear to God they said his last name was Ackerman all the way back in season 1. But when I rewatched season 1, they didn't. So
maybe you were seeing things.
I swear to God, I have a friend who's also watched Attack on Titan since roughly the same time, and he's yeah, I also thought it was well common knowledge that it was Levi Ackerman. So I I don't know where we got this information from. But like, it just, because I don't think they revealed it in the manga yet either. I think they have like just started getting to the Beast Titan stuff in the manga at the time.
That's actually really funny.
I don't know where we got this information from. I just know.
Who did you talk to? Who's your inside source?
I don't know, but we both knew it was Ackerman's.
I don't know. Maybe it's like you mistaken. Like they were, because like maybe Levi and Mikasa were in the same room and they were saying Ackerman, and then you both associated Levi with Ackerman. It turned out to be true.
Out to be true. Yeah, I continued watching the show. I was like, yeah, Levi Ackerman, and then like, you know, the Kenny shit happens, which, oh my god, the Kenny. I'll get back to that, but
Well, let's actually before, like, because we want to jump into season 2, but let's finish up with season 1 with talking about the training. Before we like go off topic.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like with like the training and how like you get introduced to not only just how the Survey Corps operates. Or it's not even the Survey Corps at this point. This is just training to be a part of the regiment, right?
Yeah, it's the trainee corps.
Yeah.
With the fucking boring ass logo of just the 2 swords.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy about it. You get what's his name, Shadis, who is just like the most classical drill sergeant. But you know, you get Eren somehow like being able to like defy all odds with fucking broken equipment to like show like how great he is, like, which is like a classic anime trope, which leads to, I don't know, there's some moments in the training arc that's like classic like tropey anime stuff that I think is like
he's different.
Abandoned.
He's built different.
Yeah, which is abandoned. I think almost immediately. I think Attack on Titan goes from like a very tropey anime, and it's like, so like the first episode has like that sucker punch hook. And then after that, you get like stereotypical for a little bit until you get like, once you're done with the training, I don't know, for some reason that short training arc to like set up a couple of things about like characters and how the world and like the military works is like very tropey. And then after that, fuck that. No, you know, tropes are done.
Yeah.
the kids
well, like,
goes
I don't know.
off.
For me, I think they, like, in a way, he had to do the tropes of like Eren being different.
Just to get it to sell.
Because if you remember when Eren gets eaten by Santa Claus Titan.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I gotta fucking. We're jumping that one, but like, I was in shock when I saw that happen because I didn't think a main character could ever die.
I thought
like,
plot armor existed. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, everybody, including the main character, is dead.
That probably. Like, I was actually at this point, I kind of was getting bored of Attack on Titan because you had that shocking first episode, right? And then I'm like, well, I need something else to keep me hooked. And then they drop like that banger of an episode where everyone just gets murked.
Including Eren, yeah.
Yeah, including Eren.
I think that's the moment where all tropes in Attack on Titan stop.
Well, I think, but here's the thing. I think they needed to do the trope of he's different to show that he's so filled with rage so he can activate the Attack Titan, right? He needed to, like, if he can stand up, he can also activate it. Like, because I feel like in that instance, no one else would be able to, activate their Titan. Like Eren did. I think it was just because Eren was put in that position and he was so upset and so rage-filled that he was able to escape alive, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was, that the Santa Claus Titan didn't, like, bite down to get the spinal fluid, and then Eren, in his rage, activated the Attack Titan for the first ever time. Yeah. But quickly going back to the training arc, I think it introduced one of the most interesting ideas out there, that only the top 10 are allowed, like, of the class are allowed to join the military police, which is considered to be like the safest one. The people that don't even use like that high-tech training fight Titans. Yeah. And that's fairly evident when like you get to later on where the military police see a Titan for probably the first time in their lives and they'd have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
Yep.
I don't know. That's another piece of world building I like, is that yeah, they were the best of their class, but they're like living in the corrupt, pampered life for so long. They are the weakest of all the military branches. That in the Survey Corps, they are strong because they are the strongest.
Because they're constantly dealing with it.
Yeah,
they're going through it.
If you died, you weren't strong enough. It's literally a survival of the fittest situation.
Yeah. Well, I think it's really telling too, and I love when stories kind of like talk about because it's very realistic. Like it's a what is it? Isn't it like is it a monarchy? It's a monarchy, right? The government.
Yeah, there's a monarchy. There's a yeah, it's a monarchy. Yeah, there's a king.
Yeah. So there's like a monarchy, right? Where like in real life too, right? In history, where the king would always get the best, the best servants,
defensive.
right? Even though you would want, your best security to be helping everyone, run your kingdom. That the truth is that the best actually just help the people on top, right?
Yeah.
So I like that concept, and I've seen a lot of other shows really tackle it too. And it's good because like what you were saying, right, with how they kind of get pampered and actually end up being weaker. It also talks about sort of the corruption within this world, because had they not done that, they would have had a better chance to save more lives from the Titans, right?
Mm-hmm.
But since they were only acting in their own self-interest, which is pointed out later in season 2, you have all these problems start to boil up, 3. Right?
Yeah. The Attack on Titan government, is really corrupt. That's like another like part of it in this, like the story that people don't really talk about, is that like the government in the world they're living in is really corrupt, and that's why like, that goes back to the underground city and how like awful it is, despite being like right underneath the richest part of the entire country.
Yeah,
like it's just, all the rich people are acting in their own favor. The government does not care about the people literally beneath them. Like it's just, and that's why, part of it had to be like a revolution story, was because, the government fucking sucks ass in this world.
Yeah, and
they can't properly fight these Titans if the government is also trying to kill them.
Yeah,
the government sucks. Like,
I mean, if you remember,
it has secrets.
If you remember, like Aaron's first transformation and when they were figuring out, right, like what was going on, Aaron saved their lives and they proceeded to torture him, right? And Levi beat the... I mean, it's funny. Levi beating the shit out of
Levi beat
Aaron.
the shit out of him to save him from execution. But like, I'm going to,
Yeah,
I'll
but like they were going to execute him after he saved their lives. So...
but part of it was, though, because he had the great chance of... It was a great risk of, the fact that Aaron, having one of the, like, Titan powers, could reveal, like, the secret the government was, like, keeping and hiding. Because remember, like... A major part with that was that, the government was corrupt, but the government was also like manipulating the memories of the people. And, that's why like the Ackermans were like hunted, because they weren't affected by the memory manipulation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, that did happen. But I'm just saying from like people
to die.
Like the people were more than fine watching Aaron get tortured.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it speaks to like again to the power of government, and I don't know, it's one of those tropes that I actually look fondly of. It's like in any sort of horror related, I guess, media, with like zombie apocalypse stuff too. I think being the big one, where it's like people would be fine, like if everyone worked together, most people would actually survive. But it's because of the self-sabotage by your own people that why so many people end up dying. Like zombies don't kill people, it's actually the people killing people. The zombies are just a method of carrying it out, right?
Yes.
And so like for Attack on Titan, it's kind of the same way, where it's like literally the government in season 1 chose to be like, we don't have enough rations for everyone, so we're gonna send you out on like a suicide mission
literally a suicide mission.
Just so they
to,
can
like,
thin
you know,
the people, so there'd be
despite
enough
the
for
fact that
everyone.
none of you are trained soldiers to thin the herds.
Yeah, they knew there was no chance, but they still sent them out because they're like, we just need less bodies.
No, it was definitely they wanted to like kill them. But
yeah.
no, season 1 is. I think I've said this before, but looking back, season 1 probably is my least favorite, not because it's bad, but just because of like how far like the story in the show went afterwards. It's really great setup. Probably the best way to describe it.
It has
There's
a couple
of the
great
mystery
moments, but yeah, for the most part, it's just immersing you in the world.
It's giving you what this world is about and how it works. It's, you know, introducing you to the important characters, but even then, like, you only care about 4 of them. One of them being Levi, who comes in about halfway.
Yeah.
It gives you, and it also, like I said, it sets up the mysteries, like the basement, and I think it ends, you know, like we said, everybody talks about the start of Attack on Titan. I don't think enough people talk about the end of the first season. One of the best cliffhangers I think I've ever seen. And remember, there was a 4-year wait between season 1 and 2. Do you remember what the cliffhanger is, Mitchell?
For which one?
For season 1.
For season 1, was it? It was the female. Was it the female Titan, or was that season 2?
No, the cliffhanger for the first season.
Or was it the Beast Titan?
Was that Titans in the Wall?
Oh yes.
That fucking shook everything right there. Was that we had this idea of how this world worked. You know, we knew the walls and stuff like that. But then all of a sudden, right as the credits finished rolling, a piece of the wall crumbled to reveal
and you see
eye
a
of
face.
a Titan. Yeah. For a colossal Titan, too.
Yep.
4 years before that would be answered.
Yeah,
it's even then, it wasn't really answered until like the end of season 3.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, because wait, also doesn't it? Because it's after the female Titan arc, right? That's like the last part of season 1.
Yeah, because after the there was training, then there was Eren. Eren learned about his power during like the Titans' attack on the second wall. The Titans attacked the second wall. Eren learned he had his power. Then it was, with the survey squad, in the forest being attacked by the female Titan, getting their asses kicked, followed by, they figured out it was obviously Annie, and they attacked Annie in the city.
Yeah. And it was, I thought it was cool because you actually got to see destruction in like the walls.
Inside the wall, like just
or not inside the walls, but like in like a populated area, like a city.
Yeah.
And it was a cool fight. Yeah.
It was a great fight.
Yeah. And because now I'm now piecing everything together. I'm like, when did the female Titan happen? Season 2, season 1? It's season 1 because it was the finale.
Season 1. Because season 2 was mainly just the reveal
of Kenny
and the introduction of the Beast Titan. Season 3, the first half was Kenny, and then the second half
was season 3 Kenny?
Yeah, season 3 was Kenny. The first half was Kenny. The second half was retaking back the first wall.
I got that mixed up. Yeah, because they have to because they lose like I think 2 walls, right? Because there's the Battle of Trost District arc.
Okay, no, that was like in season 1 though, where they lost the first wall.
No, but I mean there's like 2 walls, so like when they have to retake the second wall, it's like, oh yeah, there's more that they have to reclaim.
Yeah, they took back the second wall. As like, all right, cool, we prevented a second disaster like the first time this happened. Now we just gotta wait. And now we gotta like get to the end. But the problem was the government was like 1, very mad at the survey scouts, 2, mad at Eren, and 3, learned of Historia. So they had to like hire Kenny and his fucking shadow squadron to kill them.
Yeah, and that arc is crazy. But before then, we have to talk about we want to get ahead, I know, but let's talk about let's quickly just go over our thoughts on the female Titan arc.
Okay. I think it was good. I don't know. Like, all of a sudden, just a female Titan showing up out of nowhere was like, oh god, what the fuck is happening?
You really like this arc? Seriously?
I mean, I don't hate it. It's not my favorite.
I'm just messing with you. No, I thought this was great too.
Yeah.
My favorite
know,
part
like,
from the arc wasn't actually them capturing the female Titan, nor was it Eren beaming the Annie later on in the fight. My favorite part is when Annie actually just wipes out Levi's squad.
She fucking destroyed them.
Yeah, because especially that one
like
girl. What's her name? That she gets like curb stomped against a tree.
It was Petra.
Petra. Yeah, that was brutal. And I remember that was like the first time I was like, whoa.
I remember Ololo, who was like, he looked like he was in his 30s, but he was actually younger than Levi. I remember his death. I remember the other two guys, definitely. But yeah, no, they really got fucking curb stuff. Like, they were introduced as like the super squadron, and then like, oh god.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is the first time we see like the survey scouts fight like one of the one of these 7 Titans, right?
This is our first time actually seeing
Titans,
the survey scouts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like seeing the survey scouts just out there.
Well, that, and then also, but you see them just taking them normal Titans. It's like, oh, why should they be worried? They seem really skilled at this. And then the female Titan comes out and just murks them all, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like,
oh god,
I don't know. For me, that was like a big revelation where it's like the Survey Corps need Eren, and then Eren gets his, butt kicked.
Yeah. And then they have to save Eren, and because the mission was a failure, Eren must now be executed under martial law.
Yeah. Funny how that works. They have to save him and then kill him.
Yeah. And then the Survey Corps destroys all of the major capital, making them all enemies of the state.
Yep.
Because that's a war crime. Which caused Erwin to lead a revolution against the corrupt government. Yep.
Which is also really funny. But yeah, so going into season 2, I got my arcs mixed up. I thought Kenny came in season 2, but no.
Kenny was season 3.
Yeah.
Season 2 is like only 12 episodes. It's really short.
Oh, that's probably why. Yeah, because then it's like, isn't it like the revolution?
The revolution is next season.
Yeah, so
season 2 is like, the Beast Titan all of a sudden shows up and causes like, the
and then you have all
separate.
the stuff with Historia and what's her name?
Well, I mean, you get the start of like the Historia stuff, but that comes more into play in season 3. But you get Ymir stuff too.
No, that's what I mean. Ymir. Sorry, not Historia.
Yeah. Ymir.
No. What's her other name? Historia.
Oh, Krista.
Krista, thank you. Yeah, you get like Krista and Ymir like a lot. Mm-hmm. And it's actually one of my favorite moments is actually the tower because of how terrifying it is. Like, imagine the two experts, like the 2 expert like Survey Corps members that are with you, like on like a scouting mission. It's not even supposed to be big. It's just a scouting mission. And then they get trapped in the tower and then the 2 die. So you're on your own, like a bunch of rookies.
So I love season 2 for the fact that, as I mentioned before, in season 1, you don't get a lot of like character stuff for the side characters, except maybe like Jean and Levi. Or I call them Jean, it's John because it's French. Yeah, John. John and Levi are probably the only 2 side characters outside the main trio that get any character development in season 1. And then you get to season 2, and you're not focused on any of those people. You're focused on the comic reliefs like Sasha and Connie. You're focused on
I know
Berthold
people
and
hate
Reiner.
Sasha, right? With her episode.
Yes, everybody hates Sasha. I
mean her episode,
so
like, because everyone's like, oh, it's filler. I'm like, no, I love this because you're taking your time to explore the world. What do you mean this is bad?
No, I love it because it showed like how smart and like resourceful Sasha was, because she was able to like take on a Titan without her gear. She had a bow and arrow and an axe. And was able to take it on.
Well, that, and also it was like horror, like straight horror, where it's like, what's going on?
And then meanwhile, on the other hand, you get like the stuff with Connie, who like his village is just destroyed for some reason. Where his house was, there was just a Titan, which that reveal, when you learn what that Titan is about on top of his house, is really like a horrifying thing.
It's
that,
morbid.
you know, they get to later. It's very morbid, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they're getting character development, and then, you know, Reiner and Berthold are like also getting character development with Ymir and Krista. And I'm gonna tell you how great this character development is. I didn't remember the name of Berthold and Reiner until season 2. Remember when I said earlier I forgot it was a long time, and that's why I forgot the spoiler. But another reason I forgot the spoiler was because I legitimately didn't know who that the person who spoiled it for me was talking about. I forgot they were characters. That's a little like presence they had in season 1.
You know what's funny too?
Compared to season 2.
During season 2, during the whole tower thing, because both Reiner and Berthold were there, right? Mm-hmm. I was worried Reiner was gonna die, specifically when he gets attacked right from the doorway.
Yeah, like
I didn't want him to die. I was like, no.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. Like in less than 12 episodes, the character development was done so well that I actually cared for these people I didn't even know existed a season ago. And I did not want him to die either when he like took that bite to the arm. Yeah.
Yeah. That was, and to me, that was like, the tower was the perfect, like, you needed something to like really set yourself apart in season 2, and I think the tower did it for me.
The tower was perfect. They were literally trapped and helpless.
Yeah, and Eren was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, it's like, imagine your plot armor character wasn't there. Like, do you know if they're gonna all make it out? They could all die, you know?
You know what's really funny is in season 2, when they finally do arrive, that's the first time Eren gets a Titan kill that he's not in his Titan form.
Yep.
I think to this day it's actually the only one he's gotten outside of his Titan form with the maneuver gear.
That's so funny.
Eren does not have a good kill count with that. Eren sucks as a soldier without his Titan form. I gotta be honest with you.
I mean, his first encounter was literally getting his arm chomped off by Santa Claus Titan.
Yeah.
So
yeah, not a good track record.
Yeah, but yeah, cause so
my God,
I mean,
that reveal. No, season 2 was like, you know, building off the setup and then like answering some mysteries, but then at the same time setting up new mysteries and essentially a new story going forward, including like, you know, the continued question of why are there Titans in the wall?
yeah.
What was that mysterious language that Reiner and Ymir were reading? Who is this Beast Titan guy that just, you know, shows up at the end?
The Beast Titan reveal was one of the most terrifying experiences I've had watching an anime. Because I felt for who was it? Which commander was it? It was
one of Hanji's.
Yeah. But like, anyways, it was like he's just out there. Like, again, it's just like they were out there doing their mission, wasn't expecting anything big, and then he like faces the Beast Titan. He's not gonna walk away alive, you know. It's like, what is this thing, right?
Yeah. No, there was one other mystery at the very end of season 2, and that was related to, because at the very end they were just in an open field having a free-for-all when a bunch of Titans, including the one that killed Aaron's mom, you know, just came out, and Eren just punched its hand, and it caused all the other Titans in the surrounding area.
Yeah, because it was eating. What was his name? It was eating.
It ate Hans.
Hans, yeah.
And it was about to kill Mikasa.
Yep.
And he essentially summoned all the surrounding Titans to go kill this one. So that was like another mystery, is what is this power that he just
it's beyond just controlling. It's beyond time shifting, right?
Yeah. And you know, that, I mean, season 2 is basically just that one singular like arc with like the introduction.
Yeah. I mean, you get a really funny scene with Eren with him crying. Yeah, they got memed to hell, but it's funny. Yeah, no, it was a great scene. And like, it honestly, season 2 wasn't bad. The only thing I would say about season 2 at this point, and mind you, I'm on board at this point. I don't have any real problems with Attack on Titan. Because I think season 1 and season 2 and even season 3 to a certain extent is really good. Like,
yeah,
I think it's it has a little bit of flaws here and there. I'm looking back at it now that you know the mystery, but for the most part, I think it's fine.
I think it's great storytelling.
Yeah. Oh no, it is. And like, I don't know, cause like going into like season 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like although season 2 is short, like that's like the one thing I'll gripe. Season 3 is not short. There's a lot that happens. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Some of the best moments in Attack on Titan
Let's
are
go over
here.
the first half of season 3 with the Kenny stuff. I gotta say, I know people don't like this because there was a lot of like against it because it was humans versus humans, but I think that makes it more interesting. Is that all of a sudden everything our characters know about like who their enemy is and who they're fighting is thrown out the window, and they don't like really have time to adapt. They just have to adapt.
Yep. Well, it's like
Do or
it's
die,
like an
and
ambush.
there's no
Like they're
time
just
to think about
they're
it.
just hanging out,
Yeah.
and then boom, someone gets shot. Right.
Yeah, no, there's no time to think about it. You have to adapt now.
And
know,
can we?
they're
I mean,
humans, they
everyone
have
knows about. Can we
guns, like,
talk
you
about
gotta
that
fight.
Levi scene?
Oh
where he's
my
just
god,
being-
the Levi versus Kenny scene
Yeah.
is probably one of the best animated sequences just ever.
Yep.
It's such an amazing fight.
It is
The
so
like
good.
the maneuvering through the city, how Levi got out of the bar, like it's great. It's amazing.
Yep.
It's just so beautifully animated.
Yeah. And I don't know. For
And
me,
I think for the first time Levi faced an actual threat, and that was his uncle.
Yes. Well, it's funny because like, for me, this is like my biggest. Like, if I have one big problem with Attack on Titan, I can start talking about it now because we're in season 3. It's the time skip. I actually despise the time skip, which everyone's probably like, what the fuck? But it's true. I
Time skip
don't
happens
like
at the end.
I don't like the time skip because my biggest gripe with it is that after the time skip, they're like, let's just go fight now. We're gonna take like the fight to the enemy, and I'm just like,
Well, that was more Aaron's idea than everyone else's idea.
well, no.
Like,
But like for me, from like a
let's be
story
fair here.
perspective, because to me, like what, and you mentioned this earlier, they have this whole underground city under the capital that where Kenny comes from, and they don't explore it beyond the Kenny stuff. And to
Well, I
me,
mean, 'cause,
that
like-
was like the biggest missed potential because I'm like, I want to learn more about
mean-
this world before we go outside the walls. But by the
I mean,
time, yeah,
Like we know everything we need to know about the underground city is that it's underneath the capital. It's not a good place to live, and crime is rampant. That's I think that's pretty good. Like amount
well,
of
I
information,
see.
guess.
I feel like you just introduce that and you show like one person from there or one event from there, and I'm like, that's not enough. At least for me. And I'm like, I
Well, I don't know.
want
I
just a little bit more, like just maybe
I don't
another
think it's
arc, and I
important
would
to
have
the
been fine.
overarching like narrative of like all the mysteries, like the basement, the Titans, what's outside the wall. It's just like, oh yeah, there's a place in the capital that like nobody gives a shit about because the government sucks. It's really poor and crime ridden. It's like, okay, cool, I can buy that. I understand. I mean, like, their huge industry is mining anyways, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know you don't have problems with it, but for me, I was just like, if you have world building and you introduce these concepts, I get, yeah, you can say, oh yeah, it's just crime ridden and stuff, but I don't know. I just saw it as like, I remember like watching it for the first time and seeing where Kenny comes from. Like, oh, are we gonna explore that? Is that gonna hold like more secrets to uncovering this world? And then it's never touched on again, and I'm just kind of like, oh.
I mean, Kenny held a lot actually to the secrets with like the founding Titan and the royal family.
Well,
and,
I was expecting more.
what happened to them, and
Like I was expecting more beyond that. At least
I
for
don't know.
me.
I think that's a pretty big amount of like lore dump and information with the founding Titan, what the fuck the royal family did, and why the Ackermans had to go into hiding. Well, not just the Ackermans, but like, you had to be like of a specific race to the Eldians, right? Yeah, the Eldian
Yeah.
race. Because way back in season 1, they mentioned that Mikasa is like the last of the Asians, and like that was actually an important plot point because all the other Asians were wiped out because they're not affected by the memory wipe. So that mystery gets answered. The Ackerman mystery also gets answered. So like, I don't know. I think Kenny brought a lot in like terms
Well,
of like,
I'm not
story and
denying
lore,
that, but I'm just saying I was expecting more, and then when they didn't give it to me, I'm a greedy person. When you introduce more
apparently.
like aspects of your world, I want them to be explored, and when you like introduce it and don't explore it, I'm just kind of like, oh, never mind then. And I understand like you have a story to tell, but for me, this is probably my hot take because I know you're defending it, right?
Hmm. I don't know, like if it's not that important to the story, it's just like a cool thing that exists in the world, and it's like you don't really need to go explore beyond that.
Well, like I don't know. For me, like, see, and to the point of like, the stuff in season 2 with like Sasha, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love that stuff. Like, if people call that filler, whatever, I want more filler like that, where it's just the other characters going around exploring.
And fuck, if you want to see more of the underground city, there's a Levi OVA you can watch.
Well, I guess fine, that's fair, but I wanted more.
No,
I wanted more in the anime,
really
not
want to
the
see
OVA.
this underground city for some reason.
But anyways, despite our differences, I will say the whole Kenny stuff was really cool, and it did lead to a really cool sequence later on with the charge and Erwin.
Oh my.
Well, there's all the stuff with Erwin and like him saying you're going to die. This is a suicide mission. Like only stay if you're going to give your life, right?
If
and
you
then
are going to
everyone
fight for this
stayed there. That was cool.
Dude, fucking, I love Erwin so much. I would have followed that man into death. Like he has like just such a way with words that he could convince me that my death will be worth it for the grand sacrifice of my country in the long run.
Do you think question. Do you think Erwin should have survived rather than Armin?
No, I actually think it is better story-wise that he died. In a weird way, it's like, he's putting money where his mouth is. He's doing what he's sent thousands of other soldiers to do, and he himself has gone into and somehow lucked out every other time except this time.
Yeah.
He's dying for his country and his cause.
Yeah, which was an amazing sequence with them charging. It's like, ride!
The charge against the fucking Beast Titan is probably one of my favorite scenes in media.
And it immediately followed up too by Levi going
by Levi's it was not a fight, it was Levi's massacre of the Beast Titan.
Yes, he was swinging from Titan to Titan to get to the Beast Titan.
One.
And then he just ripped apart his fingers. It was awesome.
The Beast Titan went in with the mentality of like, it's just another man. And Levi was like, I'm going to destroy everything you hold dear.
Yeah, and it was at that point where Levi and
Levi and Zeke started their fucking hate relationship for each other.
Yeah. Going on into season 4 too, which is really funny.
Yeah.
It's like
real fast on that whole charge thing, I am still upset about the death of Marlowe. That one, bro, like he's like a rarely used side character that barely showed up before, but
he had such an impact because he was part of the Capitol, right? And then he chose.
Yeah, he
volunteered to be survey.
He volunteered to be part of the survey, and then the one that had to fucking live as long as he did. Flock.
Are you talking about my boy?
I fucking hate Flock. I know you and Brandon, you love Flock so much.
Flock is amazing. Flock. I love Flock.
Sucks. I fucking hate Flock.
Flock is my boy.
I think he's the only character in Attack on Titan I hate.
No. You don't understand though. Flock goes from a pathetic coward who survived and was working on orders till the very end to one of the most badass characters who wasn't scared of death.
He's a kiss ass. What are you talking
about?
Flock
is amazing. What do you mean? He just supported Eren's cause. There's nothing wrong with that.
Flock's entire thing after the 3rd season is sucking Eren's dick. That is his entire fucking character, and he's really annoying about it. It's like, Flock, you're just like spouting like The dumbest fucking shit. I don't need to fucking hear from you right now. Shut up. Marlo should be here standing along amongst them, not you. You don't deserve to be here. I hate Flock. I hate him so much.
No, Flock is amazing.
Stupid a haircut and his stupid
was
ideals.
Flock annoying when he survived, right? And he was like demanding they revive Erwin? Yeah. But did he turn out into an absolute like menace? Yes.
No.
And
I mean,
love
yes,
him.
actually, he
I
did.
love him.
And I hate him. I hate him so much. I hate Flock.
Flock is an amazing character.
No.
Like,
I
he even, like, does he get,
listen,
a better hairstyle? Yeah.
I understand that I'm supposed to hate Flock, but that's exactly my point here, is I hate him. I hate him so much. He does his job well. I'll give him that. I despise him with every ounce of my being.
Well. Like,
yeah,
all right, do you want to jump? Is there anything else you want to talk about with season 3?
Not so much season 3, but overall, before we get into season 4, I wanted to bring up this like little fun thing that I remember when I first watching Attack on Titan. I saw a thing about the creator that he got the idea when he was in a cafe and I think he was working at it, and a person, like a foreigner, came in and started speaking to him in the language. I don't remember which language it was, but you know, the point is he didn't understand it, and he had no idea what this person was trying to say to him. And his thought process then was, the scariest thing to humans are other humans, and that's where he got the idea of Attack on Titan. Back then, I just assumed like, oh, so he translated this like giant monsters attacking, only then to get season 3 with the big reveal once and for all that humans are in fact Titans. That we're like, oh, he meant this in quite literal, like the most literal of senses, because in season 3 you get the big flashback of Aaron's father's origin, where you get this whole new world. You go from like medieval steampunk-esque Germany to like World War II Germany with like internment camps and everything, like tanks, blimps in the air. It's fucking insane. It's humans doing it to other humans. And, as that original thing said, the scariest things to humans are other humans.
Other humans, yep.
And at that point, that original message, I remember when I saw that episode, that was like the first thing that popped back into my mind was that old thing I heard. It's like, okay, it's all coming together now. This is how the story all connects, and it goes back to that original idea. And I think that the fact that he was able to do that for like, come back to that original idea after so long with just like essentially fighting like monsters and like, just before they were fighting humans too. But, I think that's a little different than the Nazi shit of the next season. So,
yeah. Well, it's a more self-destructive story than you realize, right?
Yeah. At that moment, everything changes when that reveal happens. And that's why I think, like, I can see how it's season 4 and like what the world is now is the continuation, but it's at the same time, it's so different. And I don't know. I know there are some people that won't agree, but I think that shift makes sense. I think it's handled well. You had the big reveal of the mystery, and I think it's done so well after waiting for so long to see what was in that basement. Yeah. And that's why at the end of the day, I do think Attack on Titan is a great story. I think with that, we can talk about the final season, part 1.
And how I was so confused what was going on during that first episode.
First 4 episodes.
Yeah, where it's just... What is it? It's the Cart Titan.
Warfare.
It's the Armored Titan.
So I like that actually, that you don't see immediately, what Eren and the gang is up to after just learning about this other country. You get the perspective of the other country, who is a very much like a war nation. Like they pride them, they must always be at war to take over other countries and prove how strong
and
they are.
It's funny too, because all I saw in like the comments were like, where is Eren? Where is Eren? Mm-hmm. And it almost helped the story in a way where it's like the anticipation for Eren when he shows up as the old, as the
God, Eren
person.
showing up when he does in like episode 5.
And then you get really the big reveal of
terrifying.
Him in the basement with Reiner and Falco.
That's it. Oh my God, I think that's the only time I've ever been scared of Eren.
See, I was part of the camp where I'm like, yes, tear them apart, Aaron. Like, they're talking all this shit. Show them.
Yeah, retaliate. Remember what they did to you. But then, like, I don't know, later on, you kind of realize, maybe that's not.
Well, here's the thing. It's fun at the start, and I think this is what's so great. It's fun at the start, but then you get more to the story, and you're like, wait, no, Aaron, stop. You're hurting your friends.
No,
no. Go back.
I think that's one of my favorite parts. I think I've said that a lot, actually, but this is great. They make you. They spent like the first 3 seasons essentially making you a nationalist for this fictional country that exists.
Yes.
Like, or that doesn't exist. I misspoke. The fictional country doesn't exist.
Doesn't
like,
exist.
I don't know about you, but like, I would like do the salute and like whenever I heard that like the intro and like Shinzo Sasage, I would have followed Erwin into death. But like season 4, it makes you realize that like, maybe we shouldn't like be war hungry and craving violence all the time. Violence just leads to more violence. Nationalism is not the answer. War is not the. Basically like all this, everything we know is being like everything the story set up is now being challenged. Well, and it's like being challenged in a strong way. Where like at first you're like, yeah, let's go, Aaron. But then soon after you realize like, though there were innocents in Aaron's attack the same way there were innocents in like Reiner
and Bernhold's and Reiner's attack. Right.
Basically, like
it was like
Aaron's,
almost mirrored.
Yeah, like, and I think that's absolutely genius to like spend so long making you a nationalist for this fictional country, and then like realizing like,
what have I done?
This is not. Yeah, what have I done?
What have I been rooting for?
Because like these like children running around are not the military leaders that sent people to like smash down Aaron's wall.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's something.
The sins
great.
of the father are not the sins of the son. It's done so well.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's also maybe the idea that Aaron, like we were looking at the perspective of the Titans are this overwhelming force, right? Whoever's trying to destroy them is like a conspiracy, right? So it's very much an underdog story of people who have just gotten this power, trying their best to overcome it. With Aaron, the Survey Corps, everyone we know and love, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens is in season 4, you get introduced to a bunch of kids. And I wasn't expecting them to like half of them just die within like the
brutal
first impact.
Deaths too.
Like that, like that girl, like that girl, her head gets smashed in by like an incoming rock, right?
Yeah,
and the other person gets trampled over to death, which is a very real thing that people. I don't think people really talk about is like during like a chaotic situation, like being trampled to death is a very realistic way to die.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I was like, damn, that's real. Although like, and it's funny too, like you feel bad for the kids, right? But when they're killing like the soldiers, you still feel good, right? And the show does a really good job of that, where it's like you still feel good that they're taking out their anger on the people responsible for this war, right?
Yeah.
But then what's funny is that they immediately counter it by having Gabby.
Gabby kills Sasha. One of the
no, just murk
characters.
everyone. Like not just Sasha, but she has like a body count.
Yeah. But no, I think it was specifically Sasha that got people to despise Gabby.
The little girl, yes.
Yeah. No, but real fast, going to like when they are fighting like the actual soldier stuff, I think it does, this like giant attack has probably personally like this just one of the best another great fight scene where like the Jaw Titan is like, why aren't you afraid of him? Because like, he's used to only fighting enemies that have never fought Titans before, and they're terrified the second they see one. And now there are like these people that have like literally fought, like survived multiple different encounters with countless Titans, literally grew up like inside the walls because of them, charging them with like fucking rocket launchers.
The female Titan too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like no, of course they're not scared of you. You guys, they literally created like the only people that can fight them because they're the only people not afraid of Titans because of the sheer amount that they sent towards them.
Yeah, which is also funny because Porco almost dies.
Yeah, he almost dies in that.
He almost dies, but he dies later on.
He dies later, but he survived that.
But at this point, he
moment.
almost dies, and it's because Reiner comes in to help that he's able to survive. But then the war. See, I thought it's such a funny thing. So the Warhammer Titan, we get introduced to that, right? And that's kind of a mystery too, like a mini mystery within itself. And the design is cool. It's sick. It's one of the coolest Titan designs in my opinion. But they immediately kill off the Warhammer Titan. Eren does not care.
There was so much like build up to like the 9th Titan, the Warhammer Titan, and then she's like there for 5 seconds.
And then Eren just kills her.
No, he didn't just kill her. He took the Jaw Titan's jaw, used it as a nutcracker to break like the hardened shell she was in, and then drank her blood and spinal fluid.
Yes.
And then was about to kill the Jaw Titan too. I don't remember what stopped him, but he almost.
No, it was the Armor Titan. It was Reiner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was a really funny scene, I will say, but.
Yeah.
I
remember everyone reacting to it like, "Oh my God, Eren's
he didn't
unstoppable!
Respect the troll. He
What
didn't
a
respect
machine!"
The troll. Yeah. God, he didn't wait for the power up to. Yeah. No, I'm gonna go back to Gabby and like her killing of Sasha. I too was angry at first, but as like the story happened, Gabby was essentially like the catalyst for like the whole idea of like, you know, war is bad and like, you know, it's people killing people. And I think that was like, you know, proven when she like met the family of Sasha after like spending her whole life being told that the people of this island are devils, they're monsters, you know.
Yeah. Well,
and
it wasn't
like,
Sasha's family. It was, well, I mean, it was Sasha's dad, but it was the family that the little girl who Sasha saved.
Yeah.
And her adopted family. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Sasha's dad and mom that adopted him, so it was Sasha's family. And
oh,
like,
was it the
know,
mom? I thought it was just the dad.
But anyways, yeah, so like, you know, she like meets these people and like, you know, there's a girl her age, you know, that like, you know, has like the similar interest in stuff like that. And, you know, meanwhile, Gabby has like, she's seen war. She's like, you know, she killed Sasha. And I also remembered that like in the restaurant where like, you know, Sasha's dad in that moment, he just, you know, Gabby was expecting like this devil to be like angry and like kill her and stuff like that. But no, he didn't. He like he forgave her.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like Attack on Titan it does shit like that, and it's like I get its message. I understand its point. It's like, you know, at the end of the day, it's the most basic like war is bad. You know, it's people killing other people, and you know these are people with like normal lives and families, and like, you know, the past shouldn't matter and shouldn't define our present, is what it is. Otherwise, the cycle of violence and killing just will not stop. And, you know, you can't just keep telling like the tales of the person over there is like a devil. But because that is what it is, and, you know, people do that, that's why the scariest thing to humans are other humans. And I think Attack on Titan, despite it having such a, you know, at the end of the day, you really can just boil it down to a war is bad message. I think it does it so well, and to just say it is just that, this, you know, would be a disservice to Attack on Titan.
Yeah. And like going like continuing your point on Gabby, like at least for me, you also have to look at it from the perspective of, imagine you watch season 4 first, without any context, and you're introduced to these characters. You see like this big attack happen, and you're like, of course you want Gabby to stop them, right, and kill them. But since we have the attachment, you know, with of course Eren and everyone from Paradise, you have like this confliction where it's like, no, they need to pay, right?
Yeah.
And so the war is bad message, I think, works so well, to your point, is because they convince you without you realizing it that war is good, and then pulls the rug under you with all the with the revelations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of like character motivations, because Eren goes from a liberator to a destroyer in a blink of an eye,
Right.
and you don't realize it until it's too late with like the rumbling, right?
He was like the hero, the protagonist of the story, and the next thing you know, he's actually hurting his own people because
He's the antagonist. He goes from a
he's the
protagonist to an
antagonist now.
antagonist.
Yeah, and like it happens so subtly and in the background, like you don't really. I think you put it best. It's too late by the time you do actually kind of realize it.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because like at this point in the story, with like later, like part 2 and part 3, it's now like, oh, let's get
part
revenge, right, for Paradis and free us from like oppression from this government, right?
No, let's stop Eren.
We
from
need to stop
committing
Eren.
genocide. Yeah,
It's
we
no
need to
longer
work
about the
together.
government. Eren's gone too
yeah.
far. And it's like,
There is no there's no
yeah.
government, there's no different like people. We just have to fight as one to stop Eren's like genocide of the entire world. Is what
Yeah,
it is at the end.
it's terrifying. And like he's like, oh, I'm doing it for my friends, but like even his friends are like, what are you doing, dude? Like we've won. Like, you know what it is? It's the equivalent of like, someone who's getting bullied, right? And then they fight back and win, right? It's like, oh, cool, you knocked him out, but then the kid keeps punching.
But then they keep
And
going
then keeps
after
punching,
he's, like,
and then
knocked
he
out.
breaks his nose, teeth start falling out, and he keeps wailing on him. And you're like, okay, he's had enough. He's already down. Like he's already down for the count, right? It's like, no,
Guys,
he keeps punching.
Stop! He's already dead. Yeah,
He's
it's
already
like-
dead. That's what Eren is. And I will say, okay, what are your thoughts, really quickly, what are your thoughts on the season 4 art style change compared to earlier seasons? Because it's Mappa taking up production.
I know a lot of people weren't happy, but like I did not mind. I think it looked still close enough to the first 3 seasons, while also being like different enough to show like the story and tone and how the story is trying to portray its message has changed, and that it's no longer this like steampunk-esque German, like medieval Germany. It is now this like rough and rugged like World War II type of thing,
Yeah. Well, I think it's funny because it goes
I think
from
the art style change actually helps with like the story shift.
Well, what I was gonna say is it's so much time has passed that everyone looks different.
That's
Both literally.
Yeah, literally and figuratively. Yeah.
Yeah.
4 years is a lot of time for a lot of shit to happen.
Yeah, and I don't know. And then you get can we just talk about the Yeagerists? What an interesting concept. That Eren, despite going insane,
has these followers.
it's like his extremism is actually what causes a movement by flock.
Dude, Historia is a fucking Yeagerist.
Yeah.
I think she's like a secret Yeagerist, right? She is a Yeagerist.
Yeah, and so it's like,
oh, also, do you believe the bullshit that her child is with some farmer she knew in childhood, or are you a smart person and know that is 100% Eren's child?
it's not Eren's child.
It's Eren's child.
It's a random
come on.
farmer from childhood.
No, that's stupid. It's Eren's kid.
Are you sure?
That's what I'm gonna believe, because I think the story is better that way. But
Okay, that's fair. I won't say anything. You'll have to see for tomorrow if they answer it or not.
Yeah,
But yeah. Anyways, going back on track. I don't know. So I personally don't know how I feel about the Yeagerists, because on one hand, I understand why they were formed, right? Imagine being oppressed for all this time, and then you have a liberator who's willing to make sure that no one can harm you ever again by wiping out everyone else, right? And someone who's been through these traumatic events that has a very much a hatred for everyone in the outside world because they are responsible for what has happened on this island, right?
right.
You can understand that. And I think that's what makes it so interesting for me, is that Eren was able to create the Yeagerists without actually liking the Yeagerists.
That's true. He
Because
fucking hated them.
if you really think about it, all Aaron wants to do is accomplish his goal. The Yeagerists is like, we'll help you. And Aaron's like, okay, bet. But Aaron has never said that he likes the Yeagerists or supports it.
No, Aaron 100% fucking hates Flock. Let's be real here. Aaron is a smart man who, you know, like every normal and smart person on Earth, also hates and despises Flock.
Yeah,
Nobody
well,
likes Flock.
he knows Flock is a means to an end, though.
Yeah, he uses Flock, and, you know, I understand Aaron has essentially become a genocidal Nazi, but, like, you know, anybody that sees Flock as the tool he is has my respect. So I'll give Aaron points.
But Flock
for that
is so cool, though. That's what makes Flock so cool.
No. Anyway.
Yes. Flock is amazing.
Yeah. He's amazing at being used by a genocidal maniac.
Yeah. Okay. You have to admit, though, that was pretty badass of Flock to hang on to the side of the boat.
No, it angered me when I saw that he still wasn't dead.
What do you mean? He's committed to the cause.
I was once spoiled. They're like, oh yeah, Flock is gonna die, and I kept fucking waiting. Oh my god, I kept waiting in anticipation, week after week.
And he didn't come till later.
And
in part 3 too.
Like, he took so long to die. I was cheering when it finally happened.
See, you know what's funny? I forgot because I remember reading the manga, and he did die in the manga.
Yeah.
But when I was watching, I forgot when it was. So when it didn't happen yet, I'm like, let's go. He's gonna survive to like the very end, and then he dies, and I'm like, oh dang it.
We can live in a better, more peaceful world now.
Yeah, I just imagine your reaction to Flock is literally like when he gets like, he gets like sniped by Mikasa or whatever, or no, it was Gabby, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he gets sniped by Gabby, and you're probably like, yes, he's gone. And then he shows up again, crawling out of the boat. You're like, fuck.
Dude, I was fucking like jumping for joy, and then he started fucking crawling out of the boat. I'm like, God fucking damn it! And like fucking like threw a chair and.
Yeah, God
I didn't actually.
Damn it!
God damn it! Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Flock. He's committed. You gotta respect him. He's like the #1 employee for the Yeagerists.
Yeah, he's the #1 member of the fucking white power party.
Yeah, but anyways,
shows up to every meeting. Yeah.
Like anyways, Flock is amazing, and
no.
Going into, I think, to me, what was the most surprising for me up until this point is I was expecting more death, like through the different wars, of like our main cast. But surprisingly, there's only been very few deaths.
Yeah, the main cast, the deaths are like, yeah, no, you're right. They are very like minimum.
Like compared to earlier seasons, like you think you're going into the final season, there's this big war going on, and like a lot of people die. Like both in like both initial attacks of both like was it Marley like, and Paradis?
Yeah,
but also
Paradis nuts, but.
Yeah, Paradis nuts, but like in terms of like the main cast, there's no one that really. I mean, you have like a lot of side characters, but our main cast is basically untouched. Like they have this invisible plot armor around them,
Yeah.
I mean, the big death that we were left off with is actually Hanji's, right?
Yeah, that it has just been Hanji. Listen, I just need Jean to survive. Jean is like. I have loved Best Man since season 1. I love his character development from being an asshole who was like, yeah, I'm going to join the military police to being like, oh shit, my best friend died. I must now join the Survey Corps to like, repent.
See, you know what's funny?
And he's become one of the strongest and best. I love Jean. Come on, Jean.
I'm also a big sucker for the story trope of coward to like badass. Fearless badass.
Like John. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
John is
That's my favorite trope. Because you're like, he came such a far way. Like
he comes so far. John is Flock done correctly. Yeah.
No,
Flock is done terribly, but like
also,
John is
really
the
quickly,
character arc of Flock done perfect.
Let's flash back really quickly to Marco. I didn't realize how big of an effect Marco was gonna have on the story. But
Yeah.
oh my goodness, he is the
'cause
key to their victory.
A lot, so much. His death is like caused a split personality in Reiner. Real fast on the Marco thing though, there was an abridged series I watched on YouTube that sadly has all been deleted. It no longer exists. I think there was one person that archived a few of them. But it was an abridged series for Attack on Titan season 1, and they had this really funny joke where like after Marco died, he haunted John for the rest of the season. Like just the ghost of Marco floating around, and it was like the horrifying like half-eaten face too. It wasn't like, his normal face. Avenge my... I don't know. I find it funny to like think that's canon sometimes, and just sometimes like John will do something and just the horror, like the demon ghost of Marco is just there insulting him.
Yes.
But yeah. Avenge my death, G.
It's like the Green Goblin. Avenge me! Nah!
Yeah. But yeah. No, Marco's death was a huge... Like, I never would have thought this side character, who I barely remembered, would have such an important role and, like, burn...
I'm like, wait, who died again?
Yeah, well, what do you mean? It's Jan's best buddy.
Yeah, and then I'm like... And I had to rewatch it to remember. I'm like, oh, he was that guy. The guy with the part hair that kind of looks like Levi.
And then he turned out to, like, have a very important key and role to the story.
Yeah. Honestly... Yeah, because he basically motivated John and Reiner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is insane.
I wouldn't say motivated with Reiner. I would say more like he caused a split personality.
Traumatized.
Yeah, it was like a domino effect.
Yeah, which I think one of the funniest memes is actually the Reiner with the shotgun in his mouth meme.
It was Reiner's like wake-up call to the fact that the people of this island are not devils, but people. Similar to like what Gabby would have later with Sasha's dad.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that would leave Reiner down, like when he's home. Like Gabby asked him about like, his great like time at the island, like fighting the devils. And his answer was like, there were a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Or, something along those lines, something just in which would be like a first domino for like Gabby too.
Yeah. Which... I don't know. To me, it's funny because like you look at you sort of look at what's going on with like Reiner and like also I think and I can talk about this because you're caught up with part 3. How did they unite two different sides so naturally, right? Two sides that wanted each other dead. With like you have Mikasa, Armin, Reiner, who's the cart titan again? What's her name?
Pieck.
Yeah, Pieck,
Yeah.
You have two different sides united who are now working together. They're just cobbled together because now they have to stop Eren. And it was done so naturally. I think that was like the big thing for me. It's
because at the end of the day, there is no like race. It's just humanity. It's humanity versus Eren.
Yeah, and what's cool is like it went from, because if you remember like at the cliffhanger of season 3 part 1, right, with Reiner about to, or no, season 4 part 1 with Reiner about to jump, right?
Oh yeah,
it's like you wanted Eren to kill Reiner and everyone else and stop them. But now you're like, wait, no, I want them to live. Because of their change in character, right?
Yeah, and that's how you do a story correctly, baby.
Yeah, so...
make me care. You somehow, without me even noticing, make me care about the person I wanted dead a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, you want to change the heart. And I don't know, I think that's one of my favorite parts about like good storytelling. That I think the Attack on Titan does well and falls into that camp. Where it's like you have a character you despise, but then the more you watch them, the more they grow on you and you kind of sympathize with them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so,
no, I get that.
Yeah. And so for me, looking back on it, like, do I have problems with Attack on Titan? Yes. Is it my cup of tea for my favorite anime of all time? Absolutely not. And I know you're like on the other camp, right?
Oh yeah, no, this is probably my all-time favorite anime. It's one of my all-time favorite shows, actually.
Yeah.
I love Attack on Titan. I will
Yeah.
always.
Oh wait,
recommend
really quickly.
Attack on Titan.
Onyankopon.
Oh,
We have
I
to talk
love
about the goat, Onyankopon.
Onyankopon.
The goat.
What is-
The man saved the flying boat from crashing.
Fuck yeah, he did. I fucking
And he
love
was on the
Onyankopon.
side. He's like, he didn't betray them at all. Wait, who's the
No,
other
he
chick?
was-
Who's the other
he
like
was a
Russian
man-
chick?
He was a man for humanity that just believed strongly in his god. Onyankopon actually, his whole thing on God is like, it's another good point in like the message that humanity is just humanity. You know,
Yeah.
it's like Sasha, asked the question of why, his skin was that way, and his answer was simply just because God made me this way, as the same way God made you look like that. But at the end of the day, we're all like his creation, showing that like Onyankopon's point is that like we look different, but at the end of the day, we're still the same. We're just we're human. We have different skin color, different genders, like different like this and that, hair, skin, whatever. But it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, we're all human. It does so. And that was Onyankopon's like whole point, and the point that I think Eren missed when he started his fucking genocide.
Yeah. Yeah, and Yelena definitely did not help.
Yelena,
And what I loved is
no.
I thought
Yelena
Onyankopon was
was-
going to be like a servant to Yelena, right? Because Yelena was definitely an instigator. Like Yelena
She was an instigator,
awful.
and she wanted
Working
this
with
war to
Zeke.
happen.
Yeah.
Zeke and she definitely wanted this war to happen. But no, Onyankopon's like, nah, man, I gotta
I'm
have
for the
faith
people.
in God. I'm for the people of God. Just because God made us look different didn't mean we're any less His creations.
Yeah.
Onyankopon's just like this like good Catholic boy that believes in unity under God.
Yeah, like literally, he was so good that Yelena didn't trust him, even though they were both working for Zeke.
Even though they were on the same side.
Because she knows Onyankopon
good
wouldn't
of a
go through with
person
it, because he's a good boy.
Yeah.
He's an amazing
and then-
character. I love Onyankopon.
What was Sasha's love interest name? The chef guy.
Oh yeah, he was also really cool too. I liked him too, because he was like
Yeah.
Onyankopon, right?
Well, not to the same level, but like, his whole thing was like, yeah, he hated them all at first, but he fell in love with Sasha because Sasha
Loved his cooking.
loved his cooking. He's a chef. That's what he loves to hear. God, I felt really bad for him.
Yeah.
And like, I understand his outburst of anger, but like,
Well,
at
now
the
he's
end,
taking
like,
care of Sasha's father, so there's like a nice bond there.
But then he came out at the end, like, revealing the serum stuff. Maybe a little too late, but he did reveal it. So
But here's the thing. He had a change of heart. Like, at least he has some humanity to him, unlike Yelena or Zeke.
Yeah, Yelena had
Or
absolutely
Eren.
no humanity. This man he loved cooking, and he loved Sasha, the woman who loves his cooking. And he unfortunately lost Sasha. So
That was probably one of the most tragic things to happen.
I am still, oh God.
Yeah.
See,
I was worried that he died, but no, he's repenting, which is good. Like, to me, he's in the camp of Reiner, where it's like, I used to despise Reiner after like the twist and what he did. But then he kind of grew on me, because he kind of had this like almost redemption, not really a redemption arc, but more like a repentance arc, you know? Where it's like, he's gonna pay for his sins.
I think it's stuff like this that proves it's better that, Sasha should not have died at the original point, and why it's much better storytelling wise that she did die at the point she did.
Well, we have to thank the editor for that, the editor who cried.
Yeah, the editor who like cried and
His eyes
begged,
out, bawled his eyes out on her death.
don't kill Sasha, because I don't know. I think killing Sasha all the way back then would just like, it would have been nothing. It's just like another side character death.
I think it hits harder
killing
her death happens this late.
Yeah, but yeah, killing her at like the very end, the comic relief character too, at like the very end when the story shift is happening, and then having it be like this heavy weight, like this just giant thing that has like a huge ripple effect amongst like all the main characters in the story, like that is it's much better that she died here than like all the way
Yeah.
back when she fought that one Titan in the house.
Yeah, I know. For me, like, I thought so. It was like the three. I guess I call it like the. So there's the OG trio, which is Armin. It's
Mikasa,
Eren,
Eren.
Armin, and Mikasa. But then there's like, to me, there's like a secondary trio, which is John, Connie, and
Sasha.
And so
Yeah,
when that happened,
yeah.
one of the three was gonna die, because I knew when Gabby got onto that ship and fired, I'm like, one of the three has to die. I thought
one
all
of
the
the
death
secondary
flags
trio
were
has to
pointing
die.
to Connie. I wasn't expecting him to take out Sasha.
Sasha.
Yeah, so
Yeah. I knew one of that trio was going to die. It could not have been Jean.
John had too much
John-
important stuff that he
John
needed
had
to do.
too much importance. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was either Connie or Sasha, and it was, at the end of the day, it was Sasha. I guess it couldn't have been Connie because they still had to deal with that stuff with like the big reveal that Titan on his house was his mom, and
Yeah, you had
all
to
that,
you had to
so-
deal with that, which was a great scene, by the way.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do you remember Samuel?
I don't actually remember Samuel. No.
Samuel's such an interesting character. So Samuel, so he was like one of the background characters that was with them in the Survey Corps. That like survived.
Okay.
But like what ends up happening is, and you see him early on. Or I don't think he was
Oh!
part of the Survey Corps. He's like one of the infantry or whatever.
Fuck.
But
Yeah,
like
no,
he
he's like-
basically becomes a Yeagerist, and they're like, please don't do this. Like, we need to Eren needs to succeed.
Okay, yeah,
and then they
I
have to
remember
kill them.
him now.
Yeah.
I had to Google him, but yeah, Samuel was like the guy that Sasha caught during the Colossal Titan's second attack. Yeah. Oh fuck! I didn't even realize that was him, to be honest with you. But I knew it was like supposed to be someone they knew,
Yeah, no. And they murder him.
Yeah, they
because
murder
there's no
him.
other choice, yeah.
That one was is really tragic because like, even though I didn't recognize this like one background character from like season 1, I did know that like these are people they have fought with for years, like allies, comrades in arms.
Yep.
And like now they have to like kill them because like it's kill or be killed basically. But it's
Yeah.
essentially they're killing to survive, but if they had the choice, they would not be pulling that trigger.
Yeah. It's a tragic tale. So like, I don't know. For me, I think as much as I do have gripes with season 4, which I already vented them and you think they're dumb, one thing I will give season 4 is the complexity of morality when it comes to its characters gets like so well done.
So muddy. It's like it's so muddy. Yeah.
Because you have like
Muddy
Onyankopon,
in a
who's
good
like,
way.
he's like, it's like, it's like the D&D stuff where it's like lawful good, Onyankopon. And then, you have like the neutral,
Lawful
which
evil
is
with Yelena.
like the Sasha girl. And then
Sasha.
you have the chaotic neutral, which is Gabby, right? So it's, I don't know, it's a great, I don't know,
It's
what they're,
cool.
I mean,
love Attack on
the
Titan.
way they set up, I mean, am I upset that we have to wait even longer for the end of it? We had to wait so long since the end of part 3 to get into this. Yeah, am I kind of upset? But what I
It's
will
finally
say,
here, so.
we're at least here.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great time. And I am excited for tomorrow because we're going to see how this all ends. And specifically, I mean, I read it, but I also want to see it animated. And you've been waiting for a long time, sir.
I've been waiting for a long time because my thing was, I also decided to do this because I thought the ending would be here a lot sooner than it was. But my decision was based off the fact that I started with the anime and I wanted to finish the story with the anime. So I would wait, not read the ending, and like see how it all goes down when it's animated. Again, I said that not realizing that it would take as long as it did, but I stuck true to my word, and I'm finally here. So tomorrow I will finally see why everybody hated this ending so much, and I'll see if I agree or not.
I won't say everyone hated it. I'll just say it's controversial.
Okay.
Because I feel like there's a lot of people who actually like this ending. But I mean, did you hear the news that they're gonna write more? He's gonna write like more.
Yes, I did hear that actually.
Yeah, I sent it to Brandon, and Brandon's like, no more. I'm done with Aaron.
I don't.
I need it out.
I don't know what he means by he's gonna write more, but we'll see. We will see.
Well, you'll see. Like, watch it and let me know if you think he can do more, because it's interesting, the way they end Attack on Titan. So.
Okay. I'm gonna have to take your word for that, because.
Yeah. Oh, I can say this though. I think the thing that makes me the happiest about Attack on Titan though, is that they went full circle and referenced the name in Attack on Titan. Not for the Attack Titan, but they're fighting. The last battle is taking place.
This is our attack on Titan.
An attack on Titan. I know it's so stupid, but I love it.
Fucking way they said that. That's amazing. I love name dropping. I love name dropping so much.
There's an attack on a Titan going on. It's fun. Even though I know the exact translation isn't actually Attack on Titan, it's actually more closer to Attack Titan, right?
Yeah, Attack Titan. Yeah.
I still think that's really funny.
I like Attack on Titan.
Yeah. I'm calling it. He did that on purpose. He was actually foreshadowing all along how this was gonna end. A big fight on a Titan. But yeah, any closing thoughts? I think we covered everything, unless you want anything we missed. Quick thoughts.
No, I think we pretty much got it. Honestly, I don't know. I think I've said my piece that I think this is one of the best stories like ever told and written. Like, it's just so expertly crafted, basically. From like start to finish, a lot of great mysteries, a lot of great characters. At the end of the day, you really can boil its message down to like war bad, Nazis bad, but like it's the complexity of how you get to that message that makes this story as amazing as it does. It has great animation, great characters, great mysteries, and great answers to those mysteries. And it's one of the few shows that I will say that I will rewatch because it somehow gets better. Like, I'll pick up on stuff that I actually missed the first time around, only because I have the knowledge now of like what I'm looking for. But
yeah,
it's a great show. Watch it. If you haven't seen Attack on Titan, watch Attack on Titan. It's about to end. So.
And if you haven't watched Attack on Titan, don't watch it. It's one of the worst shows ever.
Yeah.
I'm messing with you. After that poetic speech, I'm just like, no, don't watch it. Yeah, but nope. I mean, I think you said it best. This is a great show. Honestly, although I have my reservations about it, I say just give it a chance and form your own opinions. Don't fall into the fandom trap. Like, at least watch the first 3 seasons without, looking at what fandom says, and then form your own thoughts that way. I don't know, because then I feel like if you're gonna choose a side, if you're gonna pretend to love it if you don't like it as much, I don't think that's great. And if you hate it without actually giving it a chance, I also think that's kind of bad. So
yeah,
form your own thoughts. Watch it.
Giving it a chance. Don't say something is amazing.
Starting tomorrow, it will be complete. So if you want to binge an anime to completion, it's going to
actually,
be.
You know what? No. You want to know the correct way to watch Attack on Titan? When you're done with the first season, wait 4 years. Then you can watch season 2 and 3. Then you have to wait a year to watch season 4. And then, but only part 1. Then another year for part 2. Another year for part 3, part 1. And then finally you can watch it a year after that.
That's how you do it. Perfect.
That's the correct way to watch it. You must watch it with the same amount of wait time that everybody else had to do in real time between each season.
Oh, and you have to watch it weekly.
Yes.
You have to watch it weekly.
No excuses.
Yes. That sounds perfect. All right. And with that, I would quick rating. Out of 10.
I have always said this. Attack on Titan is it's a 10 out of 10 for me. It is like a high standard as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. That's fair. I give this a 6.5 out of 10. It's good.
Fucking kill you.
It's above average.
I'll fucking kill
it's
you.
above a 5. That means it's above average, okay?
Average. Listen to this guy.
It's a 6.5, maybe a 7 if I'm generous. But yeah. Yeah, if you liked watching this video, please support us by hitting that subscribe button. You can go check out Indomitable on his channel. Thank you for joining us today. It's always fun to have you on, especially with like our JoJo Land stuff, because I can't be suffering through that manga release.
that monthly manga
release alone.
10 years, baby. We've locked ourselves in for 10 fucking years.
10 years.
10 years.
But yeah, go subscribe to him too. You cover Super Sentai. You've done Scooby-Doo. You are the man who consumes all media.
This month I'm going to be looking at Doctor Who for its 60th anniversary.
Doctor Who, which is going to be really fun.
Yes.
A very long-running show too. Probably longer than Attack on Titan, but yeah.
Yes, much longer running.
But a great world nonetheless, like Attack on Titan. That's for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you.